Well, hello everybody. That was the former chair. I guess she's still. I don't know. I guess she's finally resigned. Because last tweet I saw it said that she was now on the. She only had a few hours left, so now that was Angela McArdle giving Donald Trump an honorary lifetime membership to the Libertarian Party. If things couldn't get crazier, today the DNC said that David Hogg should be the Democratic National Committee's vice chair. So everybody, all political parties are going haywire, but hey, it's all going to be fun, right?
Yep.
So,
yep.
First, welcome to Maximum Libertarian. If you haven't already, where you're watching, if it's on X, Rumble, or YouTube, what should they do?
Smash that like button. Give us comments. Do whatever you can do to help promote this page.
Absolutely. You can go to MaximumLibertarian.com. I have links to the different sites. We would love for you to give a look at it and follow us. You know what I'm saying? Help us out. So let's just go on. Let's go on and start with this big news. Last week, Angela McArdle said that she was resigning as the national chair. She became the national chair at 2020's Reno reset, if you will. And for what it's worth, I mean, there were some things that she did that I actually liked. That this past national convention, I know Donald Trump was there, Vivek Ramaswamy, let's see, Thomas Massey, Mike Lee. You had a ton of people there. It was Afro Man was there, Dave Smith, the Tim Pool crew was there. It was very much like a rock show to me, and it was fun. It was different. I liked the vibe in some aspects. There's some things where I was like questioning, like I know the Republicans weren't going to give the Libertarians a way to speak to their voting base. So why are we giving RFK Jr. and Donald Trump reasons behind it? So
we obviously see that now, how that all worked out. So
right. It's kind of weird to me. It's disappointing to see, because I'll be honest with you, I don't like when people accept a position of leadership and then immediately resign. We've seen it here in the state. We've seen it. I've seen it on local levels. I've seen it on state levels. Now we're seeing it at national levels. If you take the position, you ride it out. Now,
I would know more than anybody on that, how that operates.
Well, yeah, you can go over it real quick.
I mean, I started off as secretary and taking over for Dr. Lark in 2020. He needed a break, so I stepped in to got voted in as the secretary of the state party. Then, started off with Nick resigned, so Joe Pascal became the chair, and I ran for vice chair.
I was also one of the youngest people on the National Finance Committee for the.
It's just an issue. The big issue we would have would be if somebody, if he resigned, who's going to take that position? You have to be the vice chair to have that position. I had originally ran for chair, back down because I thought the secretary position was important. Then, right after Election Day, in 2021, Joe Pascal decided he'd let me know the night before he was stepping down, giving me about 4 hours worth of time to prepare myself to be the state chair of the Libertarian Party of Virginia. So then I'd done that during COVID for the rest of it, did the best I could. Had to deal with some idiots, a couple idiots that wound up being in the next administration that tried to dissolve the party, called them out for their bullshit that they had. And, it's good that I did call them out, because what they tried to do to our party at the state level was bullshit. They now are members of the Liberal USA Party, which has been twisted 5 times over. And I just don't get it. Now we're in a position where, in the national level, where there's no vice chair and no chair. So this is where they need to start moving. Some other people have resigned, I heard. So you have to put people in positions. And
currently, the LNC, the Libertarian National Committee, the chair resigned, The vice chair resigned. The secretary was.
She's active. So she's active. So she technically
there's a whole bunch of stuff with it. I mean, I'm confused by it. Like, she was removed, she was suspended.
She was back on.
She's back on, whatever the case might be. But, once again, we're here in a position where the libertarians should be doing better. But we would rather stand around and point fingers at who's the real libertarian in the room and not actually worry about how to get things done.
Yep.
And,
you're right. You got the Liberal Party end of the party saying, don't ever put anybody in the Mises Caucus there. Mises Caucus people saying, don't put them in there. Both of y'all need to shut up and work on somebody in the center. And the party rebuilt. I mean, we're losing membership like crazy.
Oh, absolutely, we're losing membership. And like right now, I like the idea of some of the. Once again, look, we don't have any elected officials. We're, so our only goal that we can do is take an initiative such as defend the guard, or helping get legalization of psychedelics for help with people with PTSD, and then there's one with sound money.
So here's a question for you, Brian. In reality, we do have an elected official that's a lifetime member now. So how's that?
But who's the elected official?
Donald Trump. They give him a lifetime membership. Let's be honest.
Well,
I'm playing devil's advocate here, but let's be honest.
Semantics, but let's in reality, we have no leadership. So in turn, you got to build coalitions, and I like the idea, because my thing is, I would love to see us build ballot access. Who's not going to help us with ballot access? Ask a Democrat or a Republican. Oh, they'll tell you that they'll help you out, but they know it's not going to go nowhere. But defend the guard could possibly go somewhere. I think helping with psychedelics for people with PTSDs, and sound money. Yes, that's the right thing to do. But you want to know what? The voting base does not care. Nope. We've been preaching in the Fed, audit the Fed, and who don't respond to it? The voters. Bottom line. So in turn, I don't know how well that was going to work for them, but I can tell you that this last thing with what Angela did, like, I went to the Washington thing. I thought that was a great idea, a fundraiser to have an inauguration party, no matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican who gets in there, because you're going to have, it's like WrestleMania. WrestleMania has a ton of people, wrestling fans, show up. So then you can have these smaller promotions, put on shows in the daytime, raise a few bucks, get their name out there. So why wouldn't you? You're going to have people in D.C., if the right, left, whatever, maybe they'll come over and they'll help you out a little bit.
Some people are trying to do that, like Mike Tremont. I mean, he went to the Kennedy hearings and stuff. He's trying to put his hand out there to other people, and people like that are what we need in the party.
Look, and I like Mike. I think Mike was at the Libertarian thing. Once again, I'm watching Mike Tremont, and I feel like he's doing things right. I like Lars Mapstead.
Them too. They're both doing it.
Now, let me. Okay, so just going back real quick before this makes it sound like I'm dogpiling on Angela. Reality is, I asked Larry Sharp on his YouTube channel. I said, why don't you run for chair? Because I like Larry Sharp quite a bit. And he said, why am I going to run for national chair? He said, it's a volunteer position. You get nothing but criticized. He's like, I'm doing just fine here in New York, doing my thing.
Exactly.
And he said, I'm not going to bash anybody that volunteers to be the chair from Angela back. And you know what? I totally agree with it. I can't say that everything she did, I was like I'm so grateful for. I think she did the right thing. But there's things where just because I don't like Donald Trump speaking at the LNC, for instance, that don't mean this is a big one with the Mises Caucus, and I have nothing against the Mises Caucus. I think any caucus is stupid when we're in a small group. So let's form a smaller group, and we'll say that you're not a libertarian, and that goes for many of them. And it's just frustrating to me. It's very, very, very much frustrating to me, and I just think what we should be doing is focusing on getting things in order. Let's not. Our party is small. It's extremely small.
Getting smaller by the minute.
But you can run. Instead of trying, like we've got $10 in the bank account, they've got $100,000 in bank account. I know that the numbers are very far off. So instead of trying to run a party that's $100,000, we need to run it $10. Basic things, emails, starting the affiliates. This isn't hard to do, and we have better ideas.
Exactly right.
I
need somebody that's in the center, somebody more like, and somebody said, oh, this guy's more liberal, but I don't care what people say. Go Redpath would be like the perfect person, in my opinion, right now to have that position, because we need somebody in the center. Because somebody like Dr. Weck, like I said, he's doing a lot of stuff with academia, but he'd be like the perfect person to put in there to get this party back on the right track. The problem is these infighting, I don't think is going away. I think this is a civil war in the party, and don't know what the outcome is going to be on it. They have to fix something.
Yeah.
And Carlos, in the position she's in, why not make her the chair at this point?
Well, I don't know the whole, like I've heard different stories, okay? And I don't know the whole, everything that's went down. So before I start to, and like I think Bill Redpath, I think he's a 2-time national chair.
Yep.
He would understand it. I almost feel, because right now you're hearing Michael Heiss is being pushed, and you're hearing Justin Amash. Now, Michael Heiss, he's going to bring a lot of baggage.
Yep.
Right? Now, what's Justin Amash? Justin Amash, and I think it was the best, I read a comment. It said he became a libertarian while in Congress. He said, I might run for your presidential nomination. He walks over, looks around, goes, nah, and leaves, go back to the Republican Party, loses that primary. Now he's wanting to come back to the Libertarian Party and run it. This don't make sense to me, And so in turn, I can't really say that I'm excited about a Michael or a Justin Amash if he was to get it. I mean, whoever gets it, once again, it's a volunteer position. I just want them to do good. I don't want them to be, me and you've talked about it before, and I'll stand by this. 2009, the Tea Party shows up. They're going to be a great, wonderful organization to hold both parties accountable. And all they do is talk about how Democrats are bad and Republicans are bad. But when they go into the polling booth for that 2 to 5 minutes, however long you're in that polling booth, they say, you know what? You got to vote Republican.
Yep.
So what's the point? You're going to spend all this time telling everybody how bad Republicans are, but when you go to the polling booth, vote for the Republican. And then when you come out, I'm going to tell you how bad the Republican is.
Right.
Some people, you know what happened? Look at the Tea Party now. Yeah, there's little, pockets, but they're nothing but Republicans.
Hey, what else is going on?
So I don't want to turn Libertarian Party, and nothing frustrates me more than when you have individuals who go, I'm tired of this. They're not a real libertarian. They leave. And I'm not even going to say I know you like to talk about that, the new party that shows up, but good luck starting one. Yep. We've been around for 50 years. Conservative, Constitution Party, the Green Party, who else? The Reform Party. Look how long they've been around. What are you going to do that's different? That's all that I'm asking for my whoever the new chair is. Give me something different. That's why the Mises Caucus was able to take over. Because
here's the thing, too. I talked to a lot of state members, and a lot of state members aren't renewing national memberships. They're refusing to because they're not happy with the way that it's being run or the way it is, and they'd rather put the money into the state. Now, I understand that, too, because I kind of understand that purpose. But the only way that national survives is donations.
You have the opportunity to make, if you don't like what's going on at national, there's ways to fix that. You can fix it, you know. So let's get on real quick. So now we've got through the whole nonsense with the LNC, which I know we're going to get back to. But I just think this is a wonderful thing. New DNC vice chair previously called for ICE to be abolished. Now, okay, here we go. This is Fox News. And, of course, they're going to talk about the past, which this is mainstream media garbage. David Hogg is an idiot. Let's be honest. His ideas about gun rights being stripped from everybody is dumb. I mean, he's horrible. There's a lot of things that this guy's going to be doing. I mean, he's going to get a lot of money like AOC. You know, he'll become a multimillionaire. Congratulations, Mr. Hogg. But who cares? You know? But the Democrat voters don't care. He's saying he's going to bring the youth in here. So newly elected Democrat National Committee Vice Chair David Hogg previously called on U.S. immigration and custom enforcement to be abolished for defunding police. Defund the police, not the USPS, who had entered the national spotlight after surviving the 2018 Parkland, Florida school shooting. He said that on August 15th, 2020. What do you think about Mr. Hogg? Do you think he's going to bring the youth back with his rhetoric?
Not at all.
And, you know, of course, their big rhetoric is climate change. Climate change is
been going on that for years and years.
Well, you know, whenever anyone talks about like gun control or they talk about climate change, if you're not actually offering a true solution, like, look, all right, we'll just go with gun control. All right, why is there gun violence? You have to ask all the different questions. All right, well, why wasn't there gun violence back 50 years ago? Well, maybe it's because of the mental drugs that they're now pushing on the kids. Maybe it's the broken family that they work tirelessly to get rid of, you know, to get rid of that core family value. You know, the broken family has a lot to do with this. Education, you know, and even if you're stupid, you know, not well educated, if you have a good family, you know, we were talking about my granddad. My granddad, you know, he had a 7th grade education, but he was very good with construction. You know, he could do multiple things with building things and maintenance and all that good stuff. So it all depends on, just because you don't have the book learning, sometimes you're able to do just fine.
Exactly right. I don't know. It's just a big mess.
It is a very big mess. The Democrats are horrible in picking. I have no clue what they're doing. They are just race baiting. They're very much sexist, and they're horrible. They're just horrible people. They would rather hold people down than allow their people to flourish. I think the Republicans also do it in the aspect, maybe not as harsh as the Democrats, but I do see Republicans doing it. Now, what do you think about all the immigration stuff that Donald Trump's doing? Do you have?
I think it's out of control. Here's my thing. I think it's out of control. What's going on? Like, there's a need for closing the border a bit. I always believe that. I've never been a fully open border person, but there's some things that are going a little bit further than I guess they should go.
Right.
when you're born here, you're a citizen of this country. Shouldn't be told you have to go back with your parents. All that stuff kind of, gets you a little bit. It's one of those things that are really hard to just understand for a lot of people. But I just don't think that. I mean, we shouldn't be allowing we should be allowing legal immigration, not illegal immigration.
Yeah, getting rid of
Make it easier that way.
Getting rid of the criminals, the things of that nature. I think
people eating the dogs and the cats that
something.
Kamala was trying to do.
What's that?
The eating the dogs and cats thing Kamala was trying to get going.
Well, that's silly, but I've never looked into it because I really don't.
I did, and actually happened. So
for me, I don't. It's not the biggest thing in my.
No, it isn't. But I'm just saying.
Now, like criminal activity, I do have issues with. So if you want me to boot them out of the countries, but I don't like. I tell you, the one thing that I don't like is the tariffs. I understand the tariffs.
Well, we all do, but we understand what it's going to do to our prices too.
Well, the thing is,
we got to force them to the table, though. That's just the thing. That's what I think you're doing.
What?
You got to force them to the table.
Yeah, but the problem is when you do the tariffs. All right, number one, if they're fine if you get rid of the other taxes.
Yep.
They're going to keep taxing you all the other taxes that they've always been doing. Now they're just adding the tariffs to it. So now you get to pay for that tariff. So it's a new tax to us, and sure, he's going to do a bang up job here. I think there's some things people, I've listened to people talk about free trade, and look, I think to be proper and to be right, throw every idea onto the table and let's have a real honest to God discussion about what's going on. Maybe if I say fair trade makes, all right, well that don't make sense. Okay. Well, what about free trade? Well, that don't make sense. Well, what about this policy? Well, that makes sense. Let's do it like that. But now it's like we dig our heels into the sand and say, no, this is how we've got to do it, It's silly.
I like also, I want to know all about these airplane crashes becoming ridiculous. I mean,
well,
kind of getting weird in a way. How many?
Yeah, I know.
We can go, that's a whole other discussion.
Well, I climb down into a rabbit hole, so then I don't trust anybody no more because everybody's been exposed to be lying to us, and then it's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to believe? I want to believe my government's telling me the truth, and sometimes they are telling me the truth, but because they lied about telling us about certain medication that we should take, that it would save us, and then find out it's sugar water, and then it's getting people sick or something. That's what I was told. That's some allegation, and I don't know what type of medication it might be. But yeah, it's just we are living in strange times.
Yeah, there's a there's a lyric to that, the rabbit hole thing. I'm trying to find it.
What? Who wrote
the
this?
lyric by Falling in Verse, Tech Nine, and Alex Terrible, spiraling out of control, deeper down the rabbit hole. Never going to let them get the most of what they want to resurrect. You're sick to death. Better take me down. I don't give a fuck. This is a disgrace to God. So basically, don't go down a rabbit hole you don't want to know the answer to.
Well, that's fair enough. But
a lot of their music is very anti-government, or questioning the government. If people don't listen to it, Falling in Verse, a lot of their new stuff is government. Tom McDonald, which was funny. I don't know if you saw that video.
Right, with Roseanne.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I almost fell out of a chair. I never in a million years would have saw her being a rapper.
Right.
But
yeah. I see that she's trying to put up a new show, so once again, if you look at the Democrats, they've ran off really good Democrats have ran off really good Democrats, the people like people. They ran off RFK. They ran off Tulsi Gabbard, the Roseanne,
Yep.
Joe Rogan. These are individuals that would say that they were Democrats, and now all of a sudden they're these right wing.
Very right-wing.
But they're still not. Look, let's be honest. RFK, I know he's a lifetime member, which he did it the right way. That guy had the money. He went, paid the bill, paid the $1,500, became a lifetime member when he was seeking our nomination. And if you really want to know the truth, and I like Chase Oliver, he was a fine guy. I think he spoke well.
Yep.
But if you really wanted to know the truth, now we're going to have to just give up our principle, which I wouldn't want to do, but we could, had we gave RFK the nomination at the convention, okay? Do you understand? Trump would not be the president right now. And
Yep.
I'll put money on it. RFK could have possibly gotten us over that big hump of
Exactly
being a major party status.
Very well. I agree.
A lot of people, because they didn't like Kamala, they didn't like Joe Biden, they didn't like Kamala, they didn't like Trump, but they liked RFK Jr. And like his Maha is terrific.
Yep.
Now, his gun stances and things of that nature, he kind of hits a brick wall, but that's all. I mean, that's silly talk, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you get down to it. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here and stream about Mr. Hogg being the new Democratic National Committee's vice chair of the LNC is in disarray. I don't know how that's going to end. And
that'll be interesting. Gives us a lot to talk
many
about.
people that I've talked to, and I'll go offline. Me and can talk about it afterwards. But they are just so. All right, I'm libertarian. I'm a libertarian, but I'm really dejected right at this point. And I understand, because our goal now, we might not have a candidate this year in statewide office, and that really, it don't matter one way or the other for me, because
we need to go local.
We do need to go local. We need to go like House of Delegates, things of that nature. First and foremost,
shout out David Krantz. Dave Krantz.
We need. Yes, Dave Krantz is doing an excellent job. He's an excellent libertarian, but we need more people to step up and start building affiliates across the state before we start trying to run national. Because right now we've got Harrison in the 6th district here. We've got Harrisonburg and Roanoke. And they're separated about 2 hours. Okay. So if you had someone say, all right, I'm going to run against Ben Klein, and Ben Klein's going to, or if you say you want to run state, how much did Hung Kao and Tim Kaine spend? $250 million. We have no affiliates. We don't have no one to knock on the doors or stand at the precincts. What are you supposed to do?
Good question.
Hard. So yeah, that's about it.
Yep.
I do think. I do look at it and say, look, I still believe the glass is half full. I don't think it's half empty. I think we have the ability. All it does is means we get a good leader to run the national committee. I think there's a time where I remember Nick Sarwark got people were furious at him because he was wanting to get paid to be the national, and I don't even remember what he was asking, but I think there may be we should have the discussion on the table that once we hit a certain level, if we can hit membership wise and fundraising wise, then let's give them a little taste. If you're going to spend the time and effort to build the party, give them a taste. You might not be able to give them like a 6-figure one, but for every $10,000 you get 10% or
something like that. I got you.
Yeah, we just got to do something to start. So because look, me and you have both volunteered a lot.
Well,
And you cannot look, if I spend, which I've spent a lot of money for this group and party, but the one thing I can't get back is my time.
Yep.
You know, so if you're going to ask someone to give up their time, you've got to really start having an honest to God debate about how do we fix this so we can get good people. You know, I was know we were talking at one time, and I said, you know, you need to become a major party so we don't have to ballot access, so that way we can get superstars. And I was completely wrong by saying that. That's just step one.
Yep.
You know, we need, you know, yeah, just because you have ballot access, you still can you could possibly get garbage candidates. And when you get, so you want good candidates that are photogenic and, you know, that are doing the proper thing. There's a lot more to it, but step one is definitely getting people on the ballot. And I do think that would be by doing, we've got to get local, but good luck getting someone who's local.
Yep.
You know?
Because the two-party system wants to run those people off too.
Well, I mean, what are you
Perfect
supposed to do?
example.
Huh?
Perfect example. In any means necessary.
Right. So,
which fun to find out. Looking at deeper into him, he made a comment. That person that came at me made a comment against Trump. So, are you a Democrat? It's a mess, man. I got to show you that. That was some shit right there.
So, all right. So, do you have anything to plug?
Not much. Just keep watching the channel. We're gonna come up with better, more often. Just been a crazy holiday season and work schedule for me, but it's getting a little bit easier. So,
You got a X account or anything that they?
I do have an X account. It's at the @ symbol DDDLWB. So 3 D's and then L as in Lima, W as in weather, and B as in brother. So.
All right. So there you go. So everybody, please go to MaximumLibertarian.com. You'll find our links to the X account, our Rumble page. I think Odyssee's still on there. All that good stuff. Just go over there, check us out. And until next time, my friends, have a good night. Oh, and then also we'll have a podcast up, probably going to be Wednesday. I'll get that podcast put up onto wherever you find your favorite podcast. So until next time, I'm Brian.
I'm Dean.
Have a good night.
So, he's asleep. Well, that's kind of different. I think Brian left and forgot to shut off the live. And I'm trying to find out how to